Welcome back to another episode here on GEMS Podcast. I am the founder and host, Miss Genesis Amaris Kemp, and with me today is Latia Parker. And here's a bit about our guest. She is the founder and executive director of the Curtis P. Crowner Foundation Incorporated, an organization that provides resources to support the oncology community. She is also the owner of the Oncology Spa by CPC, a wellness facility that provides cancer patients with comforting therapeutic services such as massages and facials. In addition, she is the proud author of Coming Out, The Valley is No Longer an Option. Ms. Parker is an exceptional, experienced, and knowledgeable financial analyst who served on a nonprofit financial board, performing several accounting functions and managing the organization funds. She also worked as a financial analyst for the Department of Defense Agency, managing funds for several government programs, providing budgetary guidance, financial policies and procedures, and maintaining and analyzing budget reports. She received her college degree in accounting and business management and had desires to becoming a certified public accountant. However, her focus changed in 2020 after the passing of her father from pancreatic cancer. She helped care for him from the time of his diagnosis and understands firsthand the great and comprehensive burden cancer can bear. Latia was compelled to help other families that have been impacted by the disease. As a result, the Curtis P. Crowner Foundation Incorporated and the Oncology Spa by CPC was born. And today we're going to get into the impacts of cancer as well as supporting the oncology community as a whole. So without further ado, please welcome Latia Parker to GEMS Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And first off, I want to say my condolences to you for losing your father in 2020. I also lost my father in 2020 as well in November. So I completely understand what it's like to lose a dad and most importantly, a loved one. But before
the same month.
Seriously, when did your dad pass?
He passed November 22nd.
My dad passed November 25th. So the day before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Ooh,
and was it for the same reason or was it a different illness?
A different illness. And
okay.
my dad's own contributed to medical negligence.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
sorry to hear that. My condolences.
Thank you. So, oh my gosh, it's definitely like a coincidence there. But I definitely want to, on a lighter note, really get to connect with you personally. So I want you to share a fun and interesting fact about yourself as a way of an icebreaker. And I know the audience always likes this because they're like, what?
Fun fact. So, I am married. I have 4 children. Well, I have 3, birth 3, and then I have a bonus child. A fun fact. I don't know. Like, I just enjoy, I am a youth pastor at my church. And I really don't have a fun fact. I like to sleep. I know that, but as far as like anything else, I don't really have a fun fact. That's weird.
What about an interesting fact about you? Something that maybe your followers don't know about you and they're like, what? Latia, I would never have guessed that.
I will say a fun fact is like I was vegan since I was a vegan for like 2 years. So I would say that not really fun, but I like to shop. That's really it. Something interesting about me. I can't think of anything.
No worries, no worries. But thank you for
Think of
sharing.
anything that's really interesting. I don't know.
I'm sure after we get off the recording, you'll probably think of something and then
Yeah,
you can just
yeah,
send it to me. So we learned some cool things though. You were a
yeah,
vegan for a few years, so you
yeah.
said no to animal products,
Yes,
and a youth pastor. So that's
yeah,
amazing because you're stewarding the younger generation and
yeah.
just giving them that positive outlook. And then you're a mother of four, three plus the bonus.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes,
and then we also know that you really loved your dad and you wanted
mhm,
to commemorate his memory as well as continue his legacy
yes.
thereafter, which led you to forming the foundation. So, I want to talk about you transitioning to the formation of your foundation in
Mhm,
honor of your father and just really helping other people who are dealing with pancreatic cancer or cancer as
mhm.
a whole in the community. Because sometimes I feel like in the African American community, there's not a lot of us who do advocate
Yeah.
for the patients or their loved ones. And they think that what the doctors say is the end all be all,
Mhm.
when in actuality, having a relationship with your physician should be a partnership where they're suggesting certain things, but then you're the one who has to take the medications. You're the one that feels what's going on in your body,
Yeah.
and they should be open and receptive to listening to what you're saying and have that 360 feedback and dialogue.
Yeah, I think one of that is true. But in my situation, it was a little different because my dad was diagnosed in June of 2020. So he lived like 5 months with the diagnosis before he passed away. So it was a little different. Like we didn't really have the time, like a lot of people, to process the what the reality, or to make certain decisions. Like most of our decisions were quick decisions. But one of the things that I since being around my dad and going through that with him, one of the things that I want people to understand is that, you know, go into your checkups often, and when you have pain in your body, it's a sign of something's wrong, right? So you can't just, um, just ignore that. And I think that's what that was one of the things that happened to my dad, is that, he was having his back pain. And, most men, they just, they go through certain pains and they're like, oh, it'll go away. But, the pain that goes, what we feel, then if it's pain, then it's our body telling us that something is wrong and just to get checked out. But the reason why I focus on, starting a foundation to help the oncology community is because one of the things that I realized and understood as when I was taking care of my dad was that most people don't have the support that they need, the resources that they need to be able to take care of themselves, or not even that, just be able to step away from work and say, okay, I'm gonna take this time also that I can take care of my body. Now, one of the things that with my dad, fortunate enough, he was able to have that support. I'm one of 8 children. So all of us was able to step in, being able to support my mom and allow her to continue to work. And whenever we, most of the time I was there, I was one of his caregivers. But the rest of us, the rest of them, they were able to, provide funds or whatever to help and pay, whatever bills so my dad can stay off, be out of work for a long period of time. Um, and then during that time, he started declining. So he just had to stay out of work, period. And then what he was receiving from disability wasn't enough. So, but one of the things that I understood or I noticed is that, us as African Americans, or even just anybody, we don't really have the resources. And even for I would say the disadvantaged community don't have the resources to be able to do those things, don't have the resources to be able to eat the foods that we need to eat to be able to stay healthy. It all, a lot of it stems from that, not being able to have what we need in the disadvantaged community or in the community period to be able to live a healthy life. A lot of us. So that I wanted to, even like for caregivers, they don't even have the resources to be able to go and speak to somebody about what they're going through. Being a caregiver is not easy, and even if you're not a caregiver, just being in that journey, going through that situation, there are not resources to be able to go to somebody and say, I need to sit down with somebody and talk to somebody because I can't deal with this. So how do you go through this? How do you take care of someone that is sick like this? I've never done it before. So that's where the CPC Foundation comes in, where we'll be able to provide psychotherapy services, where we're able to provide, financial services to help pay people, help with their utility bills or help pay with the rent. Be able to provide things, cleaning services, be able to come to your house and clean your services, because being a caregiver, you don't have your focus so much on your loved one that you don't even have the time to even clean your house. So this is where the CPC Foundation comes in. In addition to that, just opening up the Oncology Spa, I was giving my dad massages while he was going through the pain, and knowing that it brought some type of comfort to him. So I decided, they go through so much mentally and physically that they just need a space where, a space where they can feel some type of comfort and get some type of relief from the pain, because, cancer itself can have a crazy, a negative impact on your body, physically, mentally. So just knowing that massages and facials and feeling good about yourself and feeling the love and just feeling the touch, so it's yeah. So that's where the Oncology Spa and the CPC Foundation, that's where it comes in.
Wow. And I'm so sorry that y'all only have 5 months and everything just moves so fast. But
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that out of, you dealing with what you had to deal with, being a caregiver on top of being a daughter and just separating the two, but then
yeah,
also, looking at ways that you could, share how that test in your life became a testimony and a testament to help
yeah.
others as a vehicle and a conduit doing is just so profound, because sometimes people go through these situations and they feel, why is me, but why not you? If you weren't strong and equipped to handle it, then maybe it wouldn't have happened to you. But who knows? Like, no one knows what the future holds, and no one knows any of the predictions. But the fact that CPC foundation was formed and the Oncology Spa, because people fail to realize that people who are going through cancer, they may not necessarily know how to talk to you about it, because you're not a cancer patient, you're not
Yeah,
enduring what they're enduring. But by the fact that Oncology Spa is giving them a place to recharge, refuel, and
hmm,
rejuvenate by
yes,
helping them relax, focus on their mental clarity, physically feel good, or have some form
mm,
of comfort that takes them out of being poked and probed and given all this medication.
mhm,
And then just really, it's spiritually, when you feel good, it also helps your spiritual alignment, not just mentally and physically, but that spiritual component. And then another thing people fail to realize is emotionally, what is their mental state while they're
yeah,
going through their trials and tribulations? How do they feel? Are you talking to them? Are you listening with
yeah,
what they're saying? Because you can't just be like, oh, well, you should do this, you should do that, because they don't want to hear that, because they're already hearing it from their physician.
absolutely,
They need
absolutely,
somebody to support them and
yeah,
do life with them. And they need that partnership. They need to know that I have a safe place where I
hmm,
could just talk to somebody. And then the financial piece, I love how you're taking your background with financial
hmm,
and you're bringing it over into the oncology side of things, because sometimes whenever you are going through the thick of it, you need that financial resource, but you also need the support of a financial professional who could help
yeah,
you understand what some of the bills are, help you understand what some of the coding is, because
hmm,
sometimes humans make mistakes, things are coded incorrectly,
yeah,
and you could overpay a bill that you had no idea you overpaid, but
hmm,
because someone put an M there for Mary instead of an N for
yeah,
Nancy. And so that's important. And then maybe you need transportation to get to
hmm,
your treatments, whether it's your a radiation or your chemo or whatever. And sometimes when you ask the doctors that, they don't know about that because that's not their lane of expertise.
Yeah.
And you may not have a social worker, you may not have a patient advocate. So you're doing the best that you can with the resources that you're given. And they're not
Mhm.
always going to tell you what's out there
Yeah.
because it's a money game.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
when you think about what you have done so far with the foundation as well as the oncology spa, what are some of the type of feedbacks that you've been getting, Latia?
So it's amazing because I get emails actually because one of the things I do is I put my information when I go to the different hospitals. We give out chemo care packages to the different hospitals. So far we've been to like 8 hospitals, and I actually had a social worker reach out to me this week and asked me, well, actually Friday, reach out to me and said, "Oh, we ran out of boxes. Can you bring us more?" So I was like, "Sure, we can bring more." And in the chemo care packages, we just most of the things that I've used with my dad, like the Queasy Pop socks and Dove and things like that, things to lubricate their lips and dry skin and things like that. We put it in the boxes, and I put my information on the box as well, just so if they need to get in contact with us and they'll have a way to reach us. And so I get emails from the patients or from the social workers or whoever. I'll get emails and thank you so much. I really appreciate the gift that you provided. Or I'll put like a scripture on there. And this one, a few of them will say, I love the scripture. It's helping me and things like that. So it just brings me so much joy to be able to reach these people. Everybody may not respond, but if I could just reach one or two, it just brings joy to my soul because I want to help people. I want to lift up their spirit. I want them to know that God is there for them, that they can get their help and they can get the support that they need. So it's fantastic. And prayerfully, it can, I'm looking to go global. And so I'm looking to help people all over the world because the need is not just in Maryland. That's where I'm from, but it's all over the world.
Amazing. And have, whenever you think about the global aspect as well as, the domestic aspect, in Maryland, you're in the DMV area. Have you thought about partnering with some of the neighboring states and maybe creating a hub of people who are also doing something similar in the oncology space, but you kind of bring both of your ideas and mirror them or mesh them so that way they could also be the hands and the feet on the ground in front of some of those physicians that you're not able to reach or some of the treatment centers.
Yes. So actually, I partnered with another foundation. Her dad has cancer, and so she started a foundation for cancer patients, and she do something similar to what I'm doing. One of the pieces that her foundation is providing is massages. She's sending her patients to that. And that's how we got connected because I opened up an oncology spa. So we got connected through there. But we're also looking to partner with other organizations and hospitals um, to do new things because I'm looking to expand as well, not just having our own building and doing things like that. And so I am looking for expansion and to connect with hospitals and other organizations as well.
That's amazing. And I definitely can't wait to see how that starts to form there. And now I want to kind of bring in the holistic piece because there's a lot of alternative medicines that end up working a little bit better than the traditional chemo or radiation or etc. So now there is, the medical cannabis. There's also chirotherapy. There's also acupuncture and some of the holistic practices that some of the naturopathic doctors like to recommend for cancer patients. Have you thought about having any of those naturopathic physicians come into your organization to do maybe webinars or different trainings? So that way we're giving them the Western medicine, but we're also giving them an approach to alternative medicine that they could probably use in conjunction.
I have. I am working on that. Doing webinars. So that's coming soon. Doing webinars for the oncology and just to educate them on other ways that they can. They don't have to use. They can the natural ways, natural medicines or whatever they can use to, help them feel better or help them heal. So yes.
Amazing. And when you think about the CPC Foundation and Oncology Spa from a holistic approach, what are some of the core values that you all um, focus on, and how have those core values implemented the outreach that you have seen? Because sometimes people, they may not necessarily know you by the name, but they know you by the fruits. Like there's a example that someone says, it's like, check my fruit. Like, you don't know me by like my name, but you know me by the works that I'm doing within the community. And then they're like, oh, that's actually that foundation, but I never knew the name.
I
Yeah.
think one of the things that we do is we for as far as the CPC Foundation, one of the things we do is we try to go out into the community and we try to. They might not know us by name, but they'll know us by our care packages. They'll know once they see that blue care package, they know that it's coming from us. And one of the things is that we do is we try to show the love, and we try to support them as much as we can. Um, and we we want to make sure that we represent Christ, right? So, and we do what he does, and that is to love and that is to support our people and go out and to help them no matter what. Um, uh, so that's one of the things that we actually do in the foundation. And then we try to get in the community as much as possible and just show our face and just do what we need to do to help and to support. I don't, it's just, I want to make sure that we, again, represent him. That's just my represent him in everything that we do and show the love and the support, and to help empower the people, let them know like we're here, you can live a good life, although that you're going through this journey, whether you have it, the illness, or whether you are going through a journey with somebody that, you can live a good life. It is not the end, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have, it's not the end. And as long as, you know, you keep that in mind that it's not the end, because just like you said before, what you go through is a testimony to somebody else. So that will help someone else. And a lot of times people don't understand that, it's when you go through certain things, that is you're helping someone else to be able to get through just like you did. So that's what we try to, and then we try to meet the expectations and exceed what the community need from us. And that's one of my things that I want people to understand is that we are here to support and do whatever needs to be done to make sure that they know we're here.
Absolutely. So I love that you are, being led by your faith, and your faith is one of the core pillars that is
Yes.
a part of CPC Foundation and the Oncology Spa, because it's like I'm not just going to walk it out, but I'm going to talk it, and my actions are going to align with, my words. And you're trying to be the hands and feet of Jesus within your community while educating, the community on what exactly, they need to look at whenever it comes to
Mhm.
oncology, because cancer, it affects different people in different areas. Like your father had pancreatic cancer. So I want to put in some educational piece really quick. So at what age should they start looking at getting tested for pancreatic cancer? Because it could be, genetics. There may be someone in your family lineage and they may not have told you that. So just
Mhm.
making sure that you do the preliminary screening to prevent something later on down the line. Do you have any information to share regarding that?
So one of the things that I've learned is that they don't have a screening for pancreatic cancer, which is weird, but they don't have a screening for that. Um, because when we, my family and I, we went through, especially for me, I went and, when I went to the doctors and, when you go through things like that, sometimes you just try to, make sure that you don't, develop the cancer, or you do everything you can in your power to make sure that you don't develop it or cause anything to, you know, bring it on. And so the doctors, one thing that the doctor told me was that it's not something that's genetic. It's just, it comes, and they're trying to, I guess, figure it out. So one of the plans in the future is to connect, do some research on my own, and create a research team to see what we can do for those cancers that doesn't have the screenings, because a lot of them don't have screenings. It just, you just get it. So um like breast cancer, you can go and you can get checked out every so often just to screen to see if you have it, or any other colon cancer, things like that. But certain cancers they don't do a screening for. And so that's one of the things that I'm looking to do in the future, is to create a research, or do something in that field to see how we can create something like that, a screening for those different cancers.
Beautiful. And thank you for sharing that, because I had no idea that there was no screening for
Yeah.
pancreatic cancer. But you mean like with time, there's research that has definitely been done, because some people do end up donating their loved ones for
Yeah.
research studies. So out of those research studies, what has been formulated by, and are they giving out that information to the rest of the public so they could kind of know? Because I mean, we're always, coming up with new technology,
Mhm.
there's always research and et cetera. So I feel like there may be some information there, not necessarily testing wise, but maybe
Yeah.
some clues or something that we could, start to look into, just to spread the awareness there. So I'm
Yeah.
interested to see what you find out as you begin to continue this journey. And as we
Mhm.
begin to wind down, Latia, I want you to leave the audience with your call to action for this segment.
So my call to action is, if you're looking for any type of support, if you're going through cancer or the journey with someone, one of the things, you can reach out to the Curtis P. Crowner Foundation. If you're looking for some support, whether you need someone to come and clean your house, any type of financial assistance, or if you're looking for any psychotherapy services, you can certainly give us a call. You can look on our website at www.thecpcfoundation.org. Also, if you have cancer, or if you're a caregiver, or if you're a survivor, you can certainly look on our website at the Oncology Spa, and we will provide you with a uniquely designed massage or facial, that will meet your expectations. So you can, again, the website is www.oncologyspa.cpc.com.
Thank you for sharing both of those websites. I will make sure they're in the show notes. And for anyone that's interested in connecting on a social level and just following along the journey, are you on any social media platforms?
I am on Instagram at the CPC Foundation. I'm also on the Oncology Spa by CPC Instagram. I'm also on Facebook with the CPC Foundation on Facebook. And then I am also on the Oncology Spa by CPC on Facebook. I'm sorry, on Instagram. And then if you want to follow me on my personal page is MRZ underscore PARKER_. And that is on Instagram. And then on Facebook, it's Latia Parker.
Thank you so much,
You're
Latia.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And listeners and viewers, once again, Latia's contact information will be in the show notes, so you could connect with her and continue to support. If what she said resonated with you, please consider making a monetary donation to her foundation so she could continue to fuel the mission and do some of the work that she's doing in the Maryland area, and then soon to branch out um, further on in DMV as well as globally. For those of you who have been following us on our journey, I want to thank you so much for tuning in and just supporting us. Make sure you subscribe and share this segment. We are on 40 plus platforms. Also connect with us on YouTube at Gems with Genesis Amaris Kemp for all things video content. And lastly, but not least, make sure you know that we are in the top 3% globally, and we could not have done it without you. So we are actually looking for brand sponsors and ambassadors to continue to fuel the mission of GEMS podcast, which is to educate, inspire, and motivate while bridging the dots and connecting while bridging the gap and connecting the dots between diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, because it takes all of us to make this world a better place. So you can find out more information to make monetary donations by going to genesisamariscamp.net. Until next time, peace, love, and lots of blessings. Have yourself an amazing day and learn more about cancer, whether it's pancreatic, leukemia, which is blood cancer, or any form of cancer that you are aware of. Challenge yourself to research and learn more about it.